Today we're going to be creating our own Zentangles. So what are Zentangles? Zentangles are an easy to learn, relaxing, and fun way to create beautiful images by drawing structured and contained patterns. Here are a bunch of different Zentangles that other people have created. So now I'm going to show you how I made my Zentangle. So I have a normal size Sharpie and a thin Sharpie. I also grabbed this from last year. Remember when we learned all of these different line types? We can use these line types when we are creating our Zentangles. Don't feel like you have to only do these line types or that you have to do any of these line types. But it might be helpful to remember those. Now let's get started by drawing our basic shape. You could do a drawing like in the other Zentangles that I showed you of different things like butterflies, pumpkins, dogs, things like that, or you could do something even more simple. I decided to do something really simple and just write a big S for Stark. Now I'm going to start just adding different shapes and patterns throughout my entire drawing. I may switch between the normal size Sharpie and the thin Sharpie, whatever I'm feeling. The point of a Zentangle is to do kind of a relaxed doodle throughout the entire page. So I don't want you to sit and think too much about this. I want you to kind of let your mind drift, listen to our audiobook, or if you're at home, you could listen to a movie or some music, anything that relaxes you, and just let yourself doodle throughout the paper. I want you to fill the entire page with all of these doodles. You're going to be adding, again, different shapes and patterns throughout the entire paper. Now, some of you may have noticed that I went straight for Sharpie. I didn't start with the pencil. This is really going to help you just make a decision and not think too much about it because we can't erase it. So if you make a mistake, you're going to have to think of different ways that you can fix it using the Sharpie. Okay, so before we continue on with our project, let's talk really quick about coloring in. I'm going to show you 3 examples of coloring these circles in. The first one, I am going to color in not super neatly. I'm outside of the lines, I'm scribbling, I'm not completely filling in that circle. It's not the neatest way to color in any of our projects. This next one, I'm going to stay inside of the lines, but I'm not completely coloring in the circle. It's a lot neater than the first one, but it's still not quite the neatest that we can get. This last one, I'm gonna really take my time and color in the entire circle. This is the neatest way to color in any of our projects. It's gonna give you the most beautiful result in the end. This is the best way to color in. And with any example that I show you throughout this year, I may be coloring a lot more quickly than you do. And that's just because I have a lot of practice. So you may be coloring in a lot more slowly, and that's fine. I really want you to take your time on your projects and make the best ones that you can. Okay, now let's grab some colored pencils and get started. Now when you use the colored pencil, make sure you're coloring in neatly, and we're gonna color in everything on our page. Remember, if you're using a sharpener in the classroom, grab one of those containers and you can fill that up with the shavings. Now as I'm coloring, I'm kind of doing a similar thing as when I was doing the doodling at the beginning. I'm not thinking too much about what colors I'm grabbing. I'm just grabbing the color that I feel like using in that moment and using it where I'd like. So I was so relaxed while I was coloring this in that I didn't notice that my camera stopped recording. So this is what it looks like when it's all finished. And here is another Zentangle that I made during the summer while I was sitting outside.